Strong. Hello, welcome to the TGS Live. Welcome to the TGS Live.
We've just added the now.
We've just added the randomly. 3 letters. Welcome to TGS Live.
Hey!
I'm John Brown. He's Keith Souch.
That's right.
He is. Hello.
Just the two of us today.
Hello. It is just the 2 of us today.
Very intimate.
But that's okay because I'm wearing cologne.
That's right.
And that's
obviously we weren't here last week like we promised, so probably a few of you that are quite thrilled about that. So it works out well.
Ah, Christ, they're back now.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here, whether you like it or not. Here we are. Anywho, lots and lots and lots and lots of things happened during that.
Well, we had 2 weeks of stuff, didn't we?
We had 2 weeks of stuff, yeah. Lots of things happened, all of which are now going to escape my memory because I'm on the spot.
That's the way the world works.
Yeah, that's how that works. One big piece of news, actually,
okay,
which I know we hadn't discussed yet, but I thought now would be a fruitful time to do that, is yesterday's big story, of course, that Leonardo DiCaprio
has died.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that didn't happen.
That would have been a big story, though.
It would have been a huge story.
I would have.
We would. But
I was like, I'm surprised I didn't know this.
Thankfully,
and I'm the one that came up with it.
Not confirmed. Thankfully, no, that's not what's happened. But he is currently being touted for the role of the Joker in a standalone DC movie.
It's the wrong choice.
It's the wrong choice. You think so?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I quite like that idea
Of
on an
course
experimental
you
level.
That idea.
Yeah, because
you have a long history with the man. The man's a good actor. Right.
And I quite like the idea of being the Joker for a while.
It's no. Right. It's not enough to just get a good actor, right? Because Jared Leto is a very good actor. Mm-hmm. You know. So
which he's about to prove once more in Blade Runner.
It's not enough. It's not enough to just get a good actor. You've got to get someone with some psychosis.
Like Jack Nicholson.
I just think Leo's too well adjusted.
He's a very good dude.
That's the problem. Now, you can be a good dude, but also have something behind your eyes. Leo doesn't have that something behind his eyes. You know? Which is why, as I've stated in the past, there are only 2 people that could play the Joker currently. Mm-hmm. Walton Goggins from The Shield, Justified and Sons of Anarchy, as well as every Tarantino movie. Well, the last 3 Tarantino movies. Because he's in the next one, and he's just been the 2.
Hateful Eight
and Django Unchained. And then also Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, both of those would absolutely work. Both of them are tall, thin, wiry guys with big shit-eating grins and crazy behind their eyes.
And they got a little bit of something about them, yeah.
Yeah, there's something menacing about both those men, even when they're being nice. There is.
I think in his day, Robert De Niro would have made a good
No.
Joker. No? Again,
No.
For the same reasons
Same reasons DiCaprio wouldn't.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It's not enough just to have a great actor. Like,
See, Jack Nicholson was good casting.
Like, yeah, De Niro's got anger behind his eyes, certainly, but it's a calm anger. Mm-hmm. And DiCaprio is perfectly capable of that as well. Of that menacing, calm anger. But it can't be menacing, calm anger. There's nothing calm about the Joker. It needs to be menacing, I might just shit on this plate and you won't expect me to do it kind of anger. You know what I mean? And it's not anger, because he's not particularly angry at the world. He's just fucking just wants to destroy it because it's Tuesday. Right?
Because it's Tuesday.
You need to be able to believe that person can be that way.
You have to believe that person is one of those people that just wants to watch the world burn.
Yeah, whereas Leto played the Joker so one-noted. Mm-hmm. There was no variation throughout his performance, no inconsistencies, and the Joker needs inconsistencies. This is something that Ledger understood.
Oh.
Like, Nicholson got it because the man's batshit.
Perfect casting, really.
If you're perfectly capable of smashing someone's car up, like, with a fucking golf club, just because, then you are crazy, you know, and in the best possible way. So, like, that's why he was perfect casting. But yeah, you got to understand the demons like that this character has, because he's not against his demons, he's embracing them. In fact, his demons are probably carrying inside him going, what the fuck is he doing now? Like, that's the whole point of this character. You know.
And Walton Goggins and Sam Rockwell could be the men to pull that off.
They are the two that I think could grace this man's presence. Like, I've thought long and hard about it. Michael Fassbender as an outside bet, like, for me, just purely because of the shape of the man's face and his massive, massive smile. And, you know, but that would be a case of casting a great actor who fits the description, whereas you want someone who can fit the craziness behind the eyes first, which is why the young dude who plays Jerome in Gotham is so good. That kid's got crazy behind his eyes, and that's not something you can act. You've either got it or you haven't. And Leto doesn't have it. He plays it too straight down the line, like gangster that just laughs every now and again, even though it's a really weird and bad laugh.
There's more Penguin.
Way more Penguin. Now you listen to it, and that was a good impression of it.
Yeah,
that was way
Penguin.
more Penguin. It's Burgess Meredith crossed with Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that sounded more Penguin, actually.
You know, and it's like, they need to start getting this stuff right, because in the DC universe we've already had the Riddler playing fucking Lex Luthor. Like, that's already happened. Because that's the character he's playing, no? Like...
Yeah, not Lex Luthor. Who'd make a good Penguin right now in the movie universe? I know that there's someone in Gotham right now that's doing it.
Well, see, my favourite thing of the Penguin is what they did in the Arkham Asylum games, which was they made him a Cockney gangster, right? And his monocle was like from a pint glass, where he'd be glassed in the eye, and it just sort of fused in his bone. I thought that was always a really cool way to go for me. I like the idea of a Cockney gangster, because when you think about it, 30 years ago, Bob Hoskins, how good a Penguin would he have been? Like Long Good Friday, Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't be a very good one now, obviously. Like, it just wouldn't work. You know, unless Robert Zemeckis animated him as well. I don't know. Like, then you could just... So, I'm trying to think of your good outside of the box, like, would Ray Winston make an interesting Penguin?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bit too old now, or
the Penguin is supposed to be sort of like, I always like it when he's sort of down and out on his luck, sort of, you know, like used to get like the posh guy tramps.
Yeah, no, like steampunky kind of.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Like, because like the way they did it with like DeVito's, he looked like he's wearing finery, but it all looked like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I like that. So I don't know. So who could play a good Penguin now? I don't know. Like, really, I don't. But I like the idea of the Cockney version of it. Like a Cockney, like old school criminal style thing. So it would be an interesting turn.
I think it'd be an interesting angle on it. I think, and kind of it's interesting that they're really going in hard on this. We need to have a Joker movie thing as well,
because not Jonah Hill.
No, the funny thing about that is Joker has. This is something I want to quiz you about, actually, because I recall you saying somewhere. You're the GC expert, really, out of the two of us, but. Joker doesn't really have a set written history, does he?
No, that's the other thing. I'm not looking forward to an origin for the Joker.
Because he doesn't he has different ones that fit the narrative of whatever he's in at the time.
What they're not taking into consideration is there's every possibility that, in all reality, there are 3 Jokers. Batman isn't always fighting the same one.
Right, okay.
He may think he is, but like the Red Hood, it's a moniker passed around between people.
So actually, Joker's
always
just
the
not
same
one
3
guy.
people. Yeah, like,
which kind of makes the whole Jack Napier thing believable.
We're gonna get really, really geeky here. There was this one thing where Batman gets to ask this Oracle thing a question, and he asked who the Joker is, and the only thing it could say was it didn't know the identities, but there are 3 of them. And we don't know how much that stands up in today's canon and all the rest of it, and whether they would use that in the films.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, doing a Joker origin is dangerous. Gotham are coming very, very close to that sort of dangerous area. But Dark Knight did it right. Every time Heath Ledger told the story of how he got his scars,
he changed it.
Different.
Yeah.
He changed it. And that is the Joker. It's like Tim Burton took a lot of...
Cesar Romero.
He took a lot of... I'm trying to think of the word. Poetic license by giving the Joker an origin. Instead of Joe Chill being the man that killed the Waynes, it was the Joker. It was Jack Napier, was the name he gave him, which was sort of a combination of other characters from before. They just sort of took it all, put it together. But then there's the other one where apparently the Joker was a comedian, which makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
sense.
A stand-up comic whose wife and child were killed whilst he was being roped into being the Red Hood to make enough money to support his wife and child, because the Red Hood was passed around from people to people. Basically, Falcone and all those like gangster guys were getting people to pretend to be the Red Hood, and they would just kill them off later. And that way the police were always hunting someone they could never find, because they all thought it was one person, but it wasn't, it was multiple. Which again could be something the Joker plays with himself later in his own like quest. There probably is an original Joker, but there might be two others that he uses from time to time. Almost like a nemesis thing. You know?
Yeah.
Well, this is all very, very cool. It's a very, very geeky Batman one today, but there we go.
Yeah.
So he took the license, and it kind of worked. I mean, they sort of adopted that into the Batman animated series as well. If you watch The Mask of Phantasm, they sort of hark back to the Burton-esque thing, but the animated series was based heavily on Burton's design of the Batman, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But there is no one fixed origin for the Joker. They're all true and they're all lies all at the same time. It's Schrodinger's Joker's origin, you know?
Yeah.
You stick them all in a box, they're there and they're not there all at the same time.
Yeah, and that's his mystery, is part of his magic.
But to give us a definitive origin story
is
scary.
Which would then be considered some sort of canon.
And also, Wolverine, anyone? And that was someone who had a definitive origin story, and that just got really fucked up the arse with, I don't know, 70 different Red Hot Pokers? You know? At least 70.
Oh, wow.
So,
but it did give us Deadpool, so...
And then there's this thing, is it going to be part of the DCEU, or is it a separate movie? There's all of this going on, because apparently Leto's still going to be the Joker in the DCEU, but they're looking to recast the Joker at the same time. So are these two things different? This is almost as bad as the whole, is Batfleck anymore? Because no one seems to fucking know. Casey Affleck seems to think he's not. But Casey Affleck is also someone that likes to play tricks on people for a movie. You know what I mean? And it's possible because then he sort of tried to retract it, like he shouldn't have shared that information, which makes it feel even more true. And then you've got Ben Affleck going, "Oh, you know, I'm definitely interested." Well, and then he's like, the next thing you hear, he's saying, "No, I'm not really interested." It's like he wants to do it for his kids, but he really doesn't want to do it because he sees the train wreck that it is. And really, like, he needs a win at the moment, because
the last thing to come out of that was Joss Whedon saying that he wants to do a new Batman trilogy. But he wants to do Batman Beyond as a trilogy. So he wants to do kind of like his own Dark Knight trilogy.
Does he want to do a Batman Beyond trilogy, or does he want to do a Batman Beyond, a Batgirl, and...
Oh yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the trilogy.
Possibly like a Nightwing, and then that's the trilogy, the sort of surrounding story.
The ideology is he's going to retain Batfleck as old Batman. A la, Beyond.
Yeah,
So,
which is cool,
Bruce
which is why I always say that. And like a lot of purists are like, "Oh no, yeah, you can't have that." They say, which Batman would win out of all the many Batmans there have been? It's like, well, Terry McGinnis, like Batman Beyond, would win. And it's like, why? I said, well, because he's Batman with all the skills and knowledge of Batman, and he's actually got Batman in his ear telling him what to do as well. Like, that's two Batmans for the price of one.
Exactly that.
Like, two Batman beats one Batman.
I think it's a good route. I'd watch a Joss Whedon movie about Batman Beyond.
And also, what a lot of people don't know is Terry McGinnis is a clone of Bruce Wayne. A lot of people just... So, from Batman of the Future, if you're from the UK, is what it was called. You need to check that series out. It didn't get enough credit. It's from the genius minds of Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, who, Batman all you people out there that love Miss Quinn here,
They're Batmen.
They're the people most responsible for this Miss Gwen being the biggest thing in popular culture at this very moment in time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We have Suicide Squad to thank for that.
I think that's a character that came around in 1991. That's
and just new, relatively new in retrospect.
Unbelievably new in the way that these stories go. But it's but Amanda Waller, even though she comes up against Batman a lot, and sometimes she'd like Batman to sort of stay out of her business, generally she'll stay out of his way if he'll stay out of hers. But she knows out of all the superheroes, if everything goes to shit, the world is always going to need a Batman. So she implements a plan. She manages to, because she knows who Bruce Wayne is, because she's very, very clever and very, very crafty, but never reveals it. She doesn't reveal it to anybody, not anyone in government or all the rest of it. She manages to get hold of some of Bruce's DNA and sperm. God knows how she did that, or whatever, and then clones Bruce. But she knows it's not enough for that, so she puts a young Terry McGinnis in a situation, this is the psychosis of the woman, where his parents get killed. Because she knows it's not enough just to be genetically like that man. You have to put him through the same challenges and all the rest of it. And she organises and orchestrates everything, like how she makes sure that McGinnis runs into Bruce one way or another, and that she thinks that he'll see a kindred spirit because he's gone through the losses, which is why he took on Dick Grayson, which is, why he took on Jason Todd.
It's the mastermind genius, evil genius of Amanda Waller.
But her point being is the world will always need a Batman, so she justifies the evil that she does to this child
to create another one.
A new Batman.
Yeah.
Which she thinks she might be able to get more control over, but
the needs of the many, basically. Yeah.
So that's some crazy deep cut shit there. Sorry if I bored you there. If you want to check out if you go to the Justice League Unlimited animated series, there's an episode in there where it explains it all quite well. Not quite as in depth as it does in the comic books, but it explains it all quite well. And it's a really good episode. It's well worth watching. So it's a good standalone episode. So you can watch on its own. Google it, you'll find it. It's great.
Why do we always drink Coke when we do the cast? Because I just belch all the way through it.
I don't know. I used to drink Iron Brew all the way to the cast, but I'm out of Iron Brew.
Oh, okay. All of these people need to sponsor us.
Yeah.
And then our belches would be paid for.
That's right.
Think about it like that.
That'd be cool.
You get paid to burp.
You could burp the word out.
This is the coolest job in the world. You get paid to belch. There's only one job cooler than that. Getting paid to fart.
Oh.
If that were a thing, I'd be a millionaire.
I was going to say, horse studder.
Horse studder?
Yeah, the guy that gets to wank a horse off into a big sock.
That's an actual job.
Of course it is. How do you think they get all the insemination and all the rest of it? Yeah. They've got to get the semen out somehow.
Invite them to a bar.
Yeah.
That's how you get semen out.
That's right.
Anywho, what's
so,
that?
Yeah, I think we covered Batman.
We've covered Batman. What's next?
Did we get off point? Yeah, the idea. Joke origin? No, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. And certainly don't do it with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's not against DiCaprio. He's just not the right man.
Leo's amazing. He'll go and do other amazing stuff.
Yeah, he makes shitloads of money for Warner elsewhere, so let him do that. But yeah, no, you can't have him as the Joker. You're better off with a lesser known face, which unfortunately Rockwell and Goggins are.
But that will work in their favour.
It will work in their favour. I mean, I know you're saying Jack Nicholson network, he's not a less known face. Well, yes, but that was then. It only worked. The only reason Jack Nicholson was there was so they could put Michael Keaton in the Batsuit. It's true. Look it up. Because they did not want Keaton to be Batman at all. But they needed a name they could put on top of the thing. They didn't realise that the name they put on top of the thing is Batman, and people will come. Oh, while we're still on Batman,
66.
Yeah, Batman 66. As we know, Adam West passed earlier this year. We were doing a podcast when we found out. In fact, so last year near Christmas. Sorry, cat's crying.
There's a cat over there.
Last year there was a animated DC movie set in the Batman 66 universe with Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar, recreating their roles. So, turns out Adam West did some recording for a second one, and it's coming this year.
And now so are you.
So again, Burt Ward will also be returning, and Julie Newmar, but they're going to bring in a character in that never appeared in the '66, as far as I remember. And I've seen them all, and I don't remember. It was quite a while ago. Is Two-Face, one of the bigger gangsters, you know,
But
of the Rose Gallery.
Two-Face didn't come until later anyway, did he? I don't think.
So they thought, well, we need someone who is cast appropriate, and William Shatner will be playing Two-Face, which to me is brilliant. I'm sure that'll be great. It'll be. I mean, the man's been a big star since the '60s, a little bit
Still
earlier.
is now.
You know, still to this day.
Still is now.
He's kooky as them as well, so it'll be brilliant. I'm so pleased with that casting. It makes when you went, oh look, William Shatner's going to be Two-Face, your brain goes, was he Two-Face in '66? He wasn't. There was no Two-Face, but your brain went, really? Are you sure?
Because it works.
Yeah,
He could well have been in '66.
that's a good thing. Also, the next DC Universe animated movie, after that will be, or before that I think, is going to be Gotham by Gaslight, which
looks really interesting.
which was the Mike Mignola from Hellboy fame, take on Gotham, where basically Batman's going up against Jack the Ripper, like Gotham's like ancient London.
Even I read that book.
Like, so looking forward to that. That's going to be very, very cool.
By the way, I'm not masturbating. I'm moving my legs. But
So
I've just realised how that looks.
oh, and a cast member from Hellboy. Here we go. Look at this linking we got going on here. Cast member from Hellboy has left because of whitewashing.
Yes.
In protest. Like,
he of Deadpool fame.
As long as it's not
Ajax.
as long as it's not
Oh,
red
Francis. Yeah. His name I've now forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. He's such a great guy as well. A really, really, really strong, talented actor. And he played Transporter for a while, didn't he?
Ripper Friend?
No.
No. Someone like that, though, isn't it?
No, it's...
There's so many people like that.
There's lots of people shouting at the screen now going, it's this guy!
It's the blonde dude with loads of teeth.
He's fab. He was Transporter, wasn't he? They did a Transporter reboot, and he was Transporter. And also, of course, most recently, probably most famous for the villain in Deadpool. He was Ajax.
He was also in Game of Thrones for one season, and then he was replaced.
And he's fabulous, and he's absolutely brilliant. And now I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he was cast, and he stood down. He made the decision to resign from the role after coming under fire for whitewashing. He's essentially playing a character that is Asian in origin, and a lot of people got very upset about that, of which he then put a lovely letter out onto the internet and via his press and media people to say his reasons for stepping down, and they were I think very, very responsible.
I admire the man for doing that, right? And but at the same time, I'm gonna be a bit devil's advocate here. Like, he didn't cast himself.
Yeah, it's interesting that he came under fire.
He didn't cast himself. And yet, he's a working man trying to provide for himself and his family, I'm assuming. You know, like, at the end of the day, he took a job that he got offered, like, and he went out for the part and he got it. Like,
you talk, I'm going to have to check his name. It's going to really irritate me now.
You can't, like...
It's here somewhere.
What is?
Deadpool.
Well, it'll be in the comic book section.
Oh, there's a comic. Check this out, there's a comic book section.
Yeah.
I love that. This is awesome. You have a comic.
And then, so it goes DC, then Marvel.
Ah, there we are, there's Deadpool. Right, yeah. I'm going to find this.
So, yeah. Yeah, this is a man who applied for a job and got it. You know? This is very, very weird. It's not his fault. This is a racial time bomb, all this, like, whitewashing and all the rest of it.
This guy.
Yes. That's the dude right there.
This fucking guy.
Yes. I'm sure it'll be there somewhere.
His name is here somewhere.
Ed Skrein.
Ed Skrein. Ed Skrein? Ed Skrein, I think it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain it's Ed Skrein. Might be Ed Skrein. Anyway.
Probably is Ed Skrein.
Thank you. Now.
But yeah, like...
thank you. I need
the dude came under fire unnecessarily. Like, he did not cast himself as this character.
No.
He got cast as this character.
He has a management company that I'm sure will have taken care of that for him via Sony.
You know, and I agree, right? Absolutely, I agree. Death Note was fucked recently. Anyone that saw it?
Although interesting casting of Defoe.
Yeah, great casting as Defoe. It's more to do with the scripting and all the rest of it.
Just a shame everything else around it
problem
was
with
shit.
Death Note. Well, I'll come back to Death Note in a second. 'Cause that happened this week. That's big news.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Asian casting of that movie, when they did the Asian live action Death Note, was fantastic. It was brilliant. In fact, the guy that got to play L looked like he came straight off the page of the manga. It was creepily stupid. But at the end of the day, this is an American company making this movie, so they're making an American version of it, and it's a comic book character that's just open to interpretation.
As is Hellboy.
Like, Nick Fury was white for the majority of the time there was a Nick Fury, and Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury.
To the point where David Hasselhoff played Nick Fury.
David Hasselhoff played Nick Fury.
They made a Nick Fury movie and TV movie.
Now.
And Hasselhoff was Nick Fury.
Like, and no one said shit when fucking Miller changed Nick Fury to being a black guy. Like, and why? Why did no one say shit? Because no one cares. Because it didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter.
It's the character that matters. The character name, the way you portray that character. If anything, well, no, it did. It made the character stronger, right? Because he based that character on Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of people don't know that, but he did. Miller based Nick Fury on Samuel L. Jackson, and then later on Samuel L. Jackson was cast as Nick Fury. Like, I'm sure Miller was like, woo!
Mind blown!
He got his perfect casting, which is also, you know, big Sam Jackson fan, which is probably why he ended up in Kingsman as well.
Aye, well, it's fuck all like my book, but it's alright.
Yeah. So it's it doesn't matter as long as the right person plays the role. It doesn't. I'm not saying the right person should be a white person. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying
He did say the right person.
The right person should be the person to play the role, and if they feel that that person did a good portrayal, then that's fine. And Screen is very good.
He's a very good actor.
And I think it's a shame the man came under fire for trying to do his job, which is essentially what happened, you know.
But nonetheless, handled himself amazingly well.
Yeah.
And took one for the
Oh
fans.
yeah, with absolute like grace and like blimey, he really.
And not only that, but obviously, I think it was a good move really, because he does have, up until this point, and obviously and we went through all this, but up until that point he had a huge amount of support from comic book fans, of course, because of his portrayal of Ajax and Francis and being part of the Deadpool universe on screen. So he has a huge following as a result of that anyway. And yeah, I think it's good to... I think he feels that he gets to retain that audience this way by doing what he feels is the right thing by them. And essentially those people, which is us, are the people that are going to pay our monies and see that movie.
All I want to know, right, is I just want people to make up their fucking minds, right? That's all I want, right? Because the same people that keep crying whitewashing are also the same people that keep saying, you know, why isn't there a black Bond or a like Asian Bond or a female Bond? And it's like, well, because that's what their character is. You can't.
The different, I get what you're saying.
You can't argue both parts of that fucking story.
The argument with Hellboy is that his character was written a certain way.
Yeah.
Therefore, yes, you can't jump the fence and then make a separate argument.
It's the same with Tilda
because
Swinton
the character
Doctor
is
Strange.
written the same.
Like Tilda Swinton was an Asian man, and Tilda Swinton is blonde lesbian. Right. So, very, very different casting there.
Is she actually?
I don't know. Did I say confirmed?
I'm just playing the objective straight man here. And that was the wrong use of the term straight man. Anyway, moving on.
Tilda Swinton is not a small Asian dude. You know,
but nonetheless was great.
They actually make a nod at it though, don't they? Because he walks in and he expects the old Asian dude to be the dude, and it's not. It's the woman. No.
I
But
think
the problem
she did a
is
fantastic
Tilda
job.
Swinton's a fantastic actress.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Doctor Strange, she was great in Doctor
So,
Strange. Really, really liked
would
her.
it have been cool? It's like, yeah, alright, that would have been cool.
Yeah. I didn't, at no point during Doctor Strange did I go, that should be a small Asian man.
No, why? Because that in itself is racist.
Exactly that. That's why I didn't say it. And why I didn't think
Is
it.
it
I just went
This
in.
is my question. Is it racist to say that this person was written this way, so therefore should be portrayed that way, like with Bond? Or then if that is racist, then it can't be racist to change who's playing what other ethnicity. They can't both be racist. They can't, because they're physically opposing each other, and that's not the way the universe works. It's not yin and yang. You know what I mean? It's yin and yang.
Nice.
There's a
Nice strange
you cannot have the same
argument
on opposing sides. It just can't be done. Like, make up your mind, people. Right?
Yeah.
Or just don't give a shit.
I just watched
Right?
Doctor
That's
Strange.
what I do. I just go, oh well. Oh look, there's a female doctor. I don't give a shit. It's Doctor Who. I'm going to watch Doctor Who. Like, oh well, look. They want Idris Elba to play like James Bond. It's like, I might go, well, it's not always written. Or I might just go and watch it because I've watched fucking 51 of the things already. I'm probably going to go and watch another.
Or female Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was just a bad idea. It's a bad comparison. It's not the female Ghostbusters.
That's another news story this week, by the way, but we'll come back to that.
It's not the female Ghostbusters that were the bad idea. It was Melissa McCarthy.
Dan Aykroyd spoke quite famously this week, and it was in a lot of major media outlets this week, speaking up against why he felt the movie failed colossally. And there
was no straight man.
He's thrown all the shade on Paul Feig.
Oh, it is all on Paul Feig. He let like Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig just fucking improvised over the whole top of that thing.
Well, apparently,
it doesn't work.
Dan Aykroyd was saying some of the things that were wrong. For example, was he would give rushes and script ideas to Dan Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman, and Dan Aykroyd would look at stuff and go, "Do you know what? You guys should probably do this." And then Paul Feig would go, "No, we don't need to do that." And Dan Aykroyd would be like, "Yeah, I think you should." And he'd be like, "No, we don't need to." He said, and then what would happen is later he realised he did need to do the things that we told him he needed to do, and he'd have to go back and shoot them.
I used to complain that they didn't include it in the universe. They could have done it with a line of dialogue that they even tried to sell it like it was in the universe in the trailer. That was the naughty thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm so glad it's not connected, because now they can just fuck it off.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and so Dan Aykroyd said, look, Dan Aykroyd said that they'd spent $30 or $40 million over budget, going back and correcting things that Dan Aykroyd told him he could have just done in the first place and avoided. Sony then came out later saying, actually, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. It only cost $3 or $4 million to do the reshoots. But nonetheless, Dan Aykroyd is saying, yeah, but this movie is taking a hella long time, I said hella, to get its money back. Because it's massively, and he blames Paul Feig for the massive overspend on things that could have been sorted way on in the beginning. And also apparently which is interesting, because Dan Aykroyd was really, really promoting and supporting and backing the movie in the run up to its release.
Ghostbusters was all practical effects.
He said he still stands by the movie. By the way, he said it's got nothing to do with female casting.
Kate McKinnon, bring Kate McKinnon back.
Yeah, amazing. He said he said, but he puts it all on Paul Feig and says that it was down to him spending way too much money, and actually not really realising the vision that he kind of promised to deliver on in the beginning. To which obviously Dan Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman were sold on, and then as it evolved, it just got worse, and more money got thrown after bad, and etc. etc. So Dan Aykroyd's arguing this week in the press. Dan Aykroyd saying, look, it's Paul Feig's fault ultimately, and now there's never going to be a sequel to that movie as a result of that.
Yeah, but we might get a sequel to Ghostbusters 2.
Which I think will fix all their problems in one fell swoop. Because
it's
people
a
will
viable
go out
franchise.
People will go out in droves for that.
It's a viable franchise.
To the point where they've even just tossed the idea around of having Ramis in there digitally, with permission from his family, of course.
I'd make him a ghost.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then you could have the original lineup.
There's a few of Ramis's scripts floating around. It can still be a Dan Aykroyd, Ramis, written production. It still can be, absolutely, and it should be. It should be there to honour the man and the legacy that he left. You know,
and it will correct this, whatever this is that we've been left with, and of course that movie would take all the bank, which would correct the financial crimes committed.
Would
by
I like
the
Bill
last
Murray
one.
to be in it? Yes. Would he probably be in it? Probably not. So fuck him. Like, there are plenty of good people that can get it. As long as you've got some of the cast, they don't need to be in it for long. They just need to pass over the torch.
Two people like I think Kate McKinnon should be kept on because she was incredible. In some way, shape, or form, you should be able to work that into the story.
I don't know how you would do that. They fucked it by not being connected. So unfortunately, you'd have to let it go.
Is it a bit like a X-Men, a clusterfuckalypse?
You've just got to kill all those people off. Like, it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. That movie didn't happen. That's how you got to treat it. You know?
Or the opening shot is Dan Aykroyd waking up going, I just had a terrible dream.
Yeah, that something like that. I'm all against it was a dream. Right,
but in this case, it really works, doesn't it? It really works with Dan Aykroyd waking up.
Way out. They ripped themselves into a corner of bullshit.
Ray just waking up in the cold sweat going.
I love the way. You know what the funniest bit in that movie is in the credits where they tried to set up they're going to get a sequel. Like, that's the funniest thing.
Oh, with the Zool thing.
Yeah, that's not happening, people.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's the opening shot. They're in the firehouse, the original firehouse, and which is actually two different locations anyway. But they're inside the original firehouse, and Ray just wakes up in a sweat, going, "Guys, I had the most intense dream," and that's how you explain that movie.
It doesn't work when you've got three people trying to be Venkman and Stance. It doesn't work. It just flat out doesn't work. Like, I don't get it. There's too much improvisation going on. They're trying to be cool, but at the same time they're trying to be geeky, and they're all scientists except that it's like there's too much going on there. Way too much. McKinnon works as a weird Egon.
She's kind of Lady Egon, isn't she?
Yeah.
In a really cool way.
But in a more twisted version of that. Like, she's punk Egon.
She could quite easily be Egon's child.
Yeah.
Like, that would work. That would play.
Like the child of Egon and Janine.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been that would have been great. That would have been the way I would have done it.
Yeah, that would play.
Yeah. And then there are plenty of people out there that could do something with this. I think someone like Sean William Scott would be a great Ghostbusters. Like, I think that
because then even Ray could say, like, the fucking dream, it'd be like, it was crazy. Your daughter was in it, and there's
I want a mixed cast.
We're giving all this stuff away.
Yeah.
We should be writing this ourselves.
I would choose Sean William Scott. Like, or if you want to go pure SNL, like, which would probably be a good way to go because that worked before.
Them originally.
So Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
Right. Is probably my first choice for a Ghostbuster because generally that man just makes me laugh.
Yep. I stand by that decision.
And then, I don't know, Bill Hader.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, a funny dude. I don't know. Keenan from Keenan and Kel. Or, you know, there's
How about Sudeikis?
Again, yeah, but then we're going up with an all-male cast. So, unfortunately, we use wig, so it's not an option. But, is it Jenny Slate? Yeah, she'd be good. Yeah. Tina Fey somewhere as the mayor or something. That would be good. Like a female mayor. There we are.
Yeah, that'd work.
Yeah. There's plenty of things. There's a ton of people you could choose, and there are a ton of people that could do it right and do it well.
She'd probably work as like a mayor character, or maybe their lawyer.
Yeah.
Or something like that would work really well, I think.
Or like the fucking Walter Pett character.
Oh, like a villain.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah. There's the bureaucrat trying to stand in their way.
We should be quiet now and just go.
I know. We should just go and write Ghostbusters.
We should probably go and write this movie and then send it to Ackroyd.
There'd be so many things you can do with that universe, and they just didn't do it right. And there's just too much improvisation. You've got too many people. They're trying to tell jokes over the top of each other, telling jokes, and it doesn't work at all. It just becomes noise. It's just them talking over each other for an hour and a half. Chris Hemsworth, as good as he is, does not need to be in that fucking movie. You've already got 4 comic reliefs. You don't need to add a 5th. No. And who's the bad guy in the movie? Quickly, think about it. You don't know, do you? That's right, because he's fucking forgettable.
Oh, it's really loud. You're being really loud, man.
He's fucking forgettable. The whole thing's forgettable.
Yeah, he's very clear with the first two movies.
It's funny for the first 2 minutes. Sorry, and then again with the Ed Begley Jr. and the guy who used to be in The Office is now in Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
Like
that stuff.
where he's going, that man died, and then it's his son. That bit cracked me up.
Yeah,
the guy was stupid enough. that bit is genuinely funny. There are whole dance sequences. Yes, that's right, dance sequences cut out of this movie, which you've got like what?
Fake trying to remake Thriller.
Yeah, they do Thriller. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see bits of it in the fucking credits and go, "Oh Jesus, thank Christ that wasn't in there." But that still costs money.
I think it's in the extended cut, which I've never watched. Do you know what? I have a copy. Of
to get permission to do that dance on that film probably cost them some money, and then they didn't use it.
Yeah, and
then that meant they also probably used the music, didn't they? And that probably went to some estate of some kind.
Did you watch the extended version?
Yeah.
But I still. Do you know what? I have a copy, and I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. I didn't really see the difference.
There's nothing. Is there anything in there?
Not really.
Oh well.
Like so it's a case of. Yeah, that's a lot of money just there getting Michael Jackson rights. That must cost. You know.
Yeah, because I guess even though it's actually...
And then they didn't use any of it, because why the fuck would you? Why the fuck would you even have that idea in the first place? If you're trying to avoid the 80s by not connecting it... I can understand it if you connected it to that universe, right? And then you've got the pullback to the 80s. Like...
Saving the date.
It would make sense. It would make perfect sense to have an 80s throwback if you had those old characters... instead of them just being fucking weird salesmen that turn up and get thrown out of a window.
Yeah, but they keep...
Or, like, the guy that owns the fucking hearse.
They keep 80s referencing,
They just fucked the old guys in and just... It was just the stupidest shit.
Yeah, and, like, with the... They keep coming to 80s throwbacks, though. Like, with the DeBarge tune. Yeah. While she's working, she comes in and says, I hate to DeBarge in.
Why the fuck would you order Chinese from a place you lived above? You wouldn't. You wouldn't do it. It's quicker to just go down and grab it, isn't it? Instead of a dude turning up with his delivery sack. Like, right, fucking, why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. They do. There's at least 10 minutes of jokes. Sorry, that's probably exaggerated. 5 minutes of jokes, which is a long time, all based around that fucking Chinese place no one would order from.
Which is also the...
It's a weird throwback. There's too many noodles. There's no noodles. There's no noodles. Like, what the
taxi driver, isn't it, from Deadpool?
It's a waste of my fucking time.
Right, so we're going to go off and write Ghostbusters 3 when we're done with this, but moving on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So, gaming news. Have I got gaming news?
Have you got gaming news? You've been telling me all kinds of cool stuff about Project Scorpio a minute ago.
Oh, yeah. Uncharted Lost Legacy came out last week.
You can play through... You can watch him play through the whole thing.
Yeah. There's a couple of a trophy hunts in there as well, mixed in with our videos. There's one particular, it's the Shadow Puppet Puzzle. That's pretty tricky. If you do it in 10 moves or less, you get a trophy. I did it in 8, and the guide is up on our site.
Yes. You can watch every
well worth the 20 quid.
Single frame of Uncharted.
Well worth the £20.
On this
discounted price for a discounted time of play, because it was essentially originally going to be DLC, but it went further than the DLC normally would be. So they charged 20 quid for it and gave it as a separate standalone game, and it will be the last Uncharted game that Naughty Dog do. Do I think it'll be the last Uncharted game? No. But it'll be the last one that Naughty Dog do.
An Uncharted movie. I always say this, don't I? I go, there's an Uncharted movie in the works.
I don't know why.
Apparently
it hasn't happened yet.
No, but apparently there is. But that's to...
Stuff like, I don't know, every fucking computer game movie ever is why people are so afraid to do it.
Yes.
Alright, so Death Note, right? Death Note, that came out.
Yes.
Should have been TV series. 37 episodes is a lot to cram into an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, I just thought of a link and I've just missed...
Oh, we mentioned it earlier, so I was going to say it again. Didn't really need a link.
No, the link, you were talking about terrible computer game movies. And I was going to say, well, Tomb Raider is an example of this. Is it not?
Yeah.
And there's a Tomb Raider movie coming next year with Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft, but also earlier last week.
I think they're missing a trick not getting what's her name face, Camilla Luddington.
But also, to connect onto that, last week I met Simon West, who of course directed the first Tomb Raider movie.
And Con Air.
And Con Air. But we'll get back around to that after Death Note. Let's talk about Death Note while I put a bunny in a box.
Yeah. Destiny 2 is out this week.
Finally.
So, yeah, if you pre-order that, you get some bonus shit. Of course you do.
There was some beta happening this week as well.
So,
skittish
Destiny
segues
2. We'll know
today.
more. I would have played Destiny 2 by the next
Yeah.
podcast. So, we will see how that goes.
The taking of your
We
money
have it pre-ordered.
too.
I mean, thank God there aren't many games out this year. Otherwise, I might not have pre-ordered it.
It's been dry.
Else.
It's like a
It's
game
a dry
drought
year,
this year.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
of Project Scorpio. But anyway.
Yeah, which I managed to order my Project Scorpio.
You did.
I got
Right,
one.
and just in
It's
time
coming.
as well.
It's coming. It's the Xbox One X Project Scorpio edition.
Which was, like, they sold out, like, seconds after you did yours or something.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah.
I didn't get one.
It's crazy. There are limited numbers. There will be more Xbox One X's going on sale at some point, I would have thought, but they will not be the Project Scorpio edition.
Still not masturbating.
Yeah, so looking forward to that.
He is. I'm not.
Obviously, we'll do an unbox when it arrives.
Yes!
On
Look
November
out for that.
7th.
November 7th. Yep.
Yeah.
They'll be there. Oh, just in time for COD. Or was that December? It's always November.
It's
isn't it?
November, yeah. No one releases games in December.
No.
Dangerous time.
Yeah.
People have generally done their spending by then.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so going back to Death Note, right.
You watched it, I didn't, because I was just awash with negative reviews. So I
Again,
just went, do you know what? I'm not going to bother.
Willem Dafoe, perfect casting as Ryuk. Absolutely perfect casting. Now, the funny thing about Death Note is Sarah, you know Sarah, she's normally sat here, she really enjoyed it. And she'd never read or seen any of the manga or the animation.
See, I, on the other hand, have watched more than less all of the animation with you.
You've watched at least 25 of
Yeah,
them,
at
which is
least.
the good 25.
At least.
Because there is 25 good episodes of
Which I really enjoyed.
Death Note, 25 in a row, and then it's not a spoiler. When fucking Al dies, it just goes to shit. Like, but up until then, it's genius. But 37 episodes, each coming in 25 minutes apiece. If you're just going to go by the TV series and not the manga, which all is basically the same thing, just set 3 years apart, I think. And all they did is they kept all the same dates and they just moved everything 3 years apart from the animation than it was in the manga. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I say that, I must know it. Alright, so...
Confirmed!
Yes, confirmed. It's a lot to get in to a movie. Even if it's just the beginning and they plan to do several. I think they did it over 3 movies for the animated... for the live-action Japanese version. And then they did the main story in 2, and then there was like the L Saves the World 3rd movie, which was really weird. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. Kind of recap.
Welcome to anime.
Prequel, sequel, weird thing. Well, that was live action. That was,
Was it actually?
Yeah, that was.
See, I didn't.
That was kind of crazy. But even then, they didn't manage to cover half of it. But what they did cover, they covered better than this. And yes, it is the American version of it, and they changed the rules, and some of it doesn't make sense. The ending is very cool. I've heard a lot of people complain, oh look, yeah, it's another thing with an 80s soundtrack, like that sort of gives you some sort of substance. The soundtrack kind of works. Yes, it is style over substance, and since Stranger Things, more and more projects have been doing this.
Yeah.
Because it's cool.
The 80s.
Well, I say
infusion.
since Stranger Things, since Deadpool as well, like choosing inopportune 80s and 90s and 70s music, choosing weird music for situations.
Yeah, Atomic Blonde recently, theatrically, all set in the 80s.
Yep, the biopic about Blondie. Yes. Still, look at that poster. It looks like a biopic about Blondie. Still, it does. And I know it's not that, and it still looks like that. Everything about it, all the font and everything, all the neon. It's like, yeah, that's Blondie.
I've been watching a lot of 80s movies recently, actually.
Well, yeah, because it's 1980. It's 1987. Happened like 30 years ago.
Oh, did it? Fuck off.
And 1987 was probably the best year film in the last fucking 50,
Does.
60 years.
Do you know what?
Like, honestly, that summer, Jesus, people just probably weren't even leaving the fucking cinema that summer because everything
80s.
in '87 was great.
Yeah, 87, there was some great stuff in 88. 84 as well. We did a rewind year on my other project, and I had to pick out the best films from 84, and I was just scanning going, oh my god, all of these movies were in 84? Like, the 80s was a great time for film. Real great time. So were the 70s, really.
They don't know how to make family films anymore.
Do you think so?
There are films for adults and there are films for kids. There's no family film.
Like Goonies.
Yeah, prime example.
Prime example.
What year was Goonies?
87. Wasn't it? No, was it 85?
I don't know. I was quite young.
I think it was 85.
I was young when I saw it.
I'm pretty certain it's
But
85.
either way, like it's
Yeah, it would have been
Don't know how
85. It's Donner, isn't it? It would have been 85 because 87 he did Lethal Weapon.
yeah.
So yeah, it would have been.
There were so many films I watched as a kid, like Princess Bride and E.T. and like Back to the Future.
The Princess Bride.
Even stuff like Daryl and like. there's at least two people that go.
Flight of the
Daryl. I remember Daryl. Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah. These were all family films.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, great family movie.
But looking back on it now, I watched it again the other day, and it pushes some limits for a PG. And you just didn't notice as a child. Even things like Labyrinth.
It sort of continued throughout the sort of mid '90s. You'd still get a few.
Turner and Hooch.
Yeah,
mid-90s.
Big. It was a great '80s one. But then you had stuff like Father of the Bride and things like that, which was good family films. But now
Touchstone had a lot of involvement in '90s family.
Yeah, Disney just ruled the roost when it came to all this sort of stuff. Like Be It as Touchstone.
3 Men and a Baby. Oh, that was 80s, I know, but obviously had a sequel in the 90s.
Directed by Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
And the second one was directed by the director of Dirty Dancing. Did he only just basically do 2 movies in his entire life?
Well, after 3 Men and a Little Lady, probably.
It's not that bad.
It's not as good as the first one.
The first one's amazing.
Yeah.
Still now. I could watch that movie right now.
The problem with 3 Men and a Little Lady is Ted Danson's the best thing in it, and he's only in it for about 5 minutes. So it's basically Tom Hanks.
Tom
Selleck. It's basically Tom Selleck the movie.
And
No, Steve Guttenberg isn't in it that much. Like, it's basically Tom Selleck riding around in a little car in the country. It's Clockwise, but with Tom Selleck.
Yeah. Fiona. Oh. Stunning, fantastic English actor. She's in it a lot as
Harry
well.
Potter. She's
she's brilliant in everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Weirdly, she looked exactly the same then as she
but fine English talent.
Yeah,
without any.
But that's all the movie is like
Clockwise.
her flirting with him, and then him not wanting to be flirted. Like that's it. That's just the movie. Is Tom Selleck the movie? There's no 3 men in that movie. There isn't. Check it out. There's no 3 men.
Clockwise. That's a great reference. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
before.
I love that movie. You haven't seen Clockwise? Check out Clockwise. It's one of John Cleese's like hidden gems.
Do you do that? I mean, we probably do that more than we care to admit to each other. But you go back and look at old stuff like that and realise how much it's like other stuff. Like I did this week. I watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome again this week. And
when I saw you post this on our forum, and I was like, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is just like Return of the Jedi. And I was like, is it fuck? Like, and I was like, okay, there is a desert bit, all right.
When you start,
and then you start thinking, all right, that's the only comparison. And you're like, no, there's a fight in like it's underground, but it's sort of case where you're up against the great big monstrous thing. So all right, it's not the Rancor,
like the Rancor. Master Blaster is basically the Rancor.
Okay.
Like so, it starts out.
Like, well, yeah, but
it
doesn't turn up. Yeah, it doesn't turn up like some
desert.
sort of. Drift. Oh no, he does. He does turn up like some sort of wooded drifter.
So Skywalker turns up in
Jabba's
palace.
But at no point does he overtake the thing with small furry. Oh no, those kids are the Ewoks, aren't they?
Those kids are the Ewoks.
I was like, shit. It is.
Look at it now, and it's and I was like, that's wow. And Mad Max 3 is so far removed from the other two. Well, essentially now the other 3, but
Mad Max 3 is not as bad as you remember it.
It's not.
It's still nowhere near as good as Road Warrior.
It's an easy 3.
It's nowhere near as good as Road Warrior. I mean, 2 still stands.
and
head
it
and
toned
shoulders
things down.
above the original trilogy. I'm not
first-
saying it stands head and shoulders above Fury Road because damn, that
Fury
movie
Road is a
great.
fucking unit on its own. But I mean, in terms of
You can get the black and chrome one now, can't you?
you can like the first two Mad Max movies are
Damn you, George.
brilliantly
Michael,
violent.
again.
And then the third movie like got a 15 because they toned it down, and
It's
you
a
can
music
tell
video.
the third movie was a Hollywood movie.
It's a music video.
You can tell the third movie is a Hollywood movie. The addition of Tina Turner, the addition of all the gloss, it has all the extra gloss and that kind of big. To the fact that it's almost a replica
It's
of
too
Return of the
clean,
Jedi.
isn't it? It is
Yeah,
far
essentially,
too
when
clean.
you bar Mad Max up against Road Warrior, and it's Beyond Thunderdome against Road Warrior, and you look at how fucking dark and
Far
violent
too many
that fucking
kids
movie
walking
is.
around in their underwear.
Yeah, exactly. So and then obviously at the time before Fury Road came along, Mad Max was the better Mad Max movie, but Mad Max 3 was the most financially successful, and it was a really weird. Different now, of course, Fury Road is the most financially successful and is the better Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
But that is a fucking legend unto itself. But yeah, you make those comparisons and realise like a lot of these movies were like each other, and also movies went through a fucking phase, didn't they? Where you'd have the asteroid movie. There'd be a bunch of those at the same time, or like Terminal Velocity and Drop Zone. You'd have
The zeitgeist, man. The fucking zeitgeist is weird. Because you'd have Armageddon, which is an
End of the
enjoyable
world
piece of
movie.
crap, and what was it? Deep Impact,
Deep Impact.
which was a piece of crap.
It's the same movie.
Well, yeah, except for one's enjoyable.
Terminal Velocity and
one's
Drop
got,
Zone.
And one's got Elijah Wood looking for a place to hide.
Everyone
Fuck is that movie about, really?
So-
Terminal Velocity and Drop Zone. The funny thing is quite often the bigger movie won't be the better one.
His Terminal Velocity was the better movie.
Oh yeah, but Drop Zone was the bigger in the box office.
Yeah,
I think eventually those things on home video swap places. I think
they
Terminal
did.
Velocity is looked on more fondly
Yeah.
in history.
Well, Terminal Velocity was Disney and Drop Zone was Paramount, and Paramount obviously put
You
a
had
lot more chunk
Two
behind
big alien movies at the same time. One was Independence Day, and one got thrown against the fucking wall and was never heard of again, which was The Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
it. Ah!
Far better movie. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's really good. It probably hasn't aged well at all, but it was essentially just a really good episode of The X-Files. Without the X-Files thing,
With Charlie Sheen.
yeah, it was very very cool.
I remember it being
Came
nice.
out around the same time.
As Independence Day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember The Wraith with Charlie Sheen.
me and Warren loved The Arrival. Like, it was great.
Do you remember The Wraith?
I was thinking,
Oh, we're going like hark back to 80s video
I can see the font
cover. Yeah,
and the pinball machine.
that was
Is
basically.
there a pinball machine for the ring?
Is that movie basically The Crow?
Yeah, but with motorbikes.
It's The Crow with motorbikes.
Yeah, that is the one, isn't it? It's the Crow with like vehicles.
That's a movie that keeps going back into development hell. The Crow reboot.
So it doesn't need it.
It doesn't need it.
Uh,
Nope, the first movie should always.
Well,
In fact,
Jason-
the Crow has the
Jason
rare.
Momoa, wasn't it? They were talking about it.
Yeah, the
Which
Crow
is
has that.
such miscasting for Eric Draven because it is apparently the Eric Draven story they want to do. Right? It's not that Jason. There is a Native American crow character who's built like a brick shithouse because the crow is the bird. It isn't the man, right? So, and he can embed his powers into someone. If you read anything about fucking The Crow
James O'Barr.
by James O'Barr, like there is several, and one of them is a fucking huge dude built like a brick shithouse. Make one of those movies. The Crow stories we haven't seen before. Leave Brandon Lee's one alone,
It still stands
or
up.
cast the right dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Still stands up.
He
now.
is not a skinny rock star. He's not. The Crow was skinny as shit the way he was drawn.
Well, it was, yeah. It was,
Yeah.
Yeah, skinny rock star. And that's a movie that has one of those rare
Now, is it
occasions where
racist?
sequels.
Is it racist to cast Jason Momoa in that, or is it racist that I said don't cast Jason Momoa in that?
No, because
Who knows
it's-
in this society?
No, because it's. I think you're trying to look for the right person, and I don't think he is the right person.
And speaking of Jason Momoa,
Go on, link me.
Game of Thrones
Game of Thrones.
season 7 ended this week. As quickly as it arrived, it has gone, and winter has come,
Winter has come
and it is heading south.
everywhere.
And
so did everyone else on the internet.
it is... Damn, that was a good last episode. To the point it feels like it shouldn't have been the last episode. Because, again, this is a short season, this penultimate season. We got to wait 500 plus days for the next season.
You're one of the counters, aren't you?
Fucking, like... You know what 500 plus days is?
Yeah, but I'm kind of
500 plus days is 2019. Dude.
I am 2 seasons
2019.
behind. I am 2 seasons
Well, if you
behind.
can't catch up by then, that's fucking
Yeah,
on you.
but do you know what?
It was better to wait over a year for half a season this
I
time.
am fucking watching all of your pain right now and thinking, I don't feel that pain. So I might just save those until nearer the time so I don't have to feel that
No,
pain.
that'd just be silly. Like,
because look at all the pain you're all in right now. It's like, oh, I've got to wait 2 years.
yeah,
I'm
but
like,
we just spent
yeah,
6 weeks
but
wanking.
Yeah, but I didn't.
You didn't
I'm
get to
alright.
spend 6 weeks wanking.
I'm alright. I'm good. I'm good with that. And I think maybe it's better if I wait till it's closer to the time. Because I don't want to witness or feel that pain you're going through right now. Because you're like, I'm going to wait fucking 2 years.
You know, we're coming to the end of fucking Rick and Morty already. And, oh, Jesus Christ.
But
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't watched Game of Thrones. So I can't really talk about it. Yes, I'm pissed that it's revealed it's 500 episodes. Like, 500 days before we get another fucking episode. Yes, I'm pissed at that. I'm hoping we get a bigger season.
Mm-hmm.
Not just this half-season stuff for the final season. Because there's a lot of story to tell.
It's Game of Incest.
And then we're
going to
start getting... I mean, we might even get... I've been thinking about this 500-day thing. It seems madness to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll have Game of Thrones next year.
Right.
One of the many spin-offs they're planning. Because there's 5
yeah,
spin-offs.
there is. Yeah, there is, yeah.
Supposedly 5 spin-offs. So if you've got that big a break in between, that says to me they want to get people watching Game of Thrones spin-offs before they give them the final season. Because otherwise, some of the audience will go, right, that's it, I'm done, I don't need to watch anymore. Whereas this way, they're going to be chomping at the bit, like, give me more! Give me more!
So they'll do you a little bit at a time.
So what they'll do is, they'll get you hooked in on these other things, so then when the final season comes in and goes, then you'll still automatically go on to the next stuff, because you've already started watching it.
And link it all in.
That's right. They're drug pushers. That's what they are. And the drug of choice is
tits and dragons, tits and dragons.
the Fire and Ice fucking George Martin universe.
Wiener wiener.
Tits and dragons.
Tits and dragons.
So yeah, that's what everyone.
Are there more tits and more dragons in this 2 seasons?
I think there's just going to be... It's too big a fucking gap. It's too big a fucking gap. You know? So there has to be something in between. And I'm sure that's what they're going to do. And basically, I think they're going to spring it on people. I think it's probably already filming. Or at least one of these things is probably already filming.
And it'll just drop. Like a surprise release.
But, as we know, that's one thing. A major character died. I'm not going to tell you which one. And it was like a yay moment. And then a major character... Fucking hell, we came close. It's like, Jesus Christ. Don't let that be so. But I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Thank you.
Fuck's sake. Like, wow. And, yeah. Oh. That's right. Jesus Christ. It was good. One more of it. I hate talking about Game of Thrones because you can't talk about Game of Thrones whilst you talk about Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is like a fight club.
Oh, yeah, that's the first rule, isn't it? I hate people that do that shit, even though it's like basically been out a fucking week already, and it's on you if you haven't seen it. As far as I'm concerned, it's on you. But yeah, so that was very cool. And you're right, we are coming into new TV.
Yeah, we are. We're in September, which means it's October soon, and October means all kinds of new good shit.
The Orville starts soon.
Yeah,
so.
including shit I like Supergirl, and Arrow, and Flash, and Legends,
well,
and
that's in October.
Blacklist,
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
I'm really looking forward to Lethal Weapon coming back.
Elementary, even though I'm 2 seasons behind.
I'm only a season behind on that. I've only got season 5 to go.
Yeah, I haven't seen 4 or 5.
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm 2 seasons behind.
I don't know. It's getting hard going.
I'm catching up.
I'm
I'm always behind because I'm a season behind on Supergirl, Arrow, and Flash. Thank you to Warner, by the way, for sending me the stuff to catch up with.
Do you know what I watched? I finally got around to it. Like, I hadn't seen it before, right? Gravity Falls.
Right, you mentioned this before. Remind me.
You need to watch Gravity Falls.
Refresh my
If you are
memory.
a fan of Rick and Morty, and you know
Alright,
that
okay.
Rick and Morty isn't going to be around like much longer before there's another big break in between seasons. Well, there's 40 episodes or something set in the same universe as Rick and Morty, and it's a Disney cartoon, which in itself, as a concept, is very fucked up. One of Justin Roiland's best friends was the creator of a cartoon series called Gravity Falls, which is like a twisted version of Twin Peaks meets the X-Files for kids. It's not for kids. It is for kids, but it's filled with so much stuff that would just be over the heads of kids. It's genuinely funny. It's got a great voice cast.
What in the name of shit are you? What?
Yeah, Twin Peaks and X-Files for kids.
Okay.
That's what it is.
See,
Even to the
sounds
point,
like,
the main child,
that
the main
sounds like
character,
something that was good in the 80s.
The main character is called Dipper, which is quite close to Cooper, right? There is, at one point they're in a restaurant and it's got a zigzag black and white floor and loads of like red velvet curtains.
Which would have been perfectly placed in the 80s.
That would have been in the absolute... It is in Twin Peaks. It's just, it's not a restaurant. But that whole aesthetic is there. There's tons of stuff going on in this. And then there's also like lots of connections between Rick and Morty and this series. And you can see all those online. But there's a really good example where at some point a portal gets turned on and all this stuff gets sucked through. And then if you're watching another episode of Rick and Morty, the stuff that gets sucked through a portal in Gravity Falls falls out of the portal in Rick and Morty.
I like that kind of connection.
Yeah.
That works. Suddenly feel the need to.
And then
catch
in
up
Rick
on
and Morty, there's an episode where Jerry's getting his testicles removed, and on the screen in the background there's this sort of X-ray of like a triangle with a top hat on and two legs coming out, which is the main villain from Gravity Falls called Bill Cipher, and Bill is called Bill because he's also this is a short name beginning with B. Which also refers to Twin Peaks' main villain, Bob.
No levels, man.
Oh, man. Honest to God. Right. 40 episodes of this. Myself and Sarah watched in 3 days. And it wraps itself up from beginning to end. There's no more coming.
That's it.
It's
just
one story.
one short story.
Told over one summer. Right. It's genius. All of it is genius. So if you haven't seen Gravity Falls, and I know there'll be thousands of people, millions of people that have watched it, but you need to watch this show. I can't recommend it enough. I know I'm late coming to it, and now I'm gushing about it, and it's like yeah, that's the way it goes. But seriously, watch this movie. What's the fucking thing? I want more of it. Like, can we have another summer, please? Like, I know it's a lot of work for you, and 20 episodes of animation is a lot of work for anybody, especially writing at that level of
Depth.
Genius and comedy is... Oh, God, it was good. Oh, just want more of it.
Now I'm
a live action... well, not a live action. Just give us a 2-hour animated movie and just so I can get my fix, please. Because, Jesus Christ, it was good. And the fact that it's connected to two things that...
It's good enough to quote a deity.
It is. Oh, God, it's good. Oh, so is that a different deity or is that the same one?
This is a whole nother debate, my friend. That's a whole other podcast.
Holy Ghost is good. That's all 3 now.
By Buddha, it's good!
God is like a shamrock, small, green, and split 3 ways. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. That's the way. There we go. So yeah, Gravity Falls. Check that shit out.
Rick and Morty, check that shit out. I need to...
It's coming to an end soon.
I need to... Again.
Get Shorty's going.
I'm a catch up.
Shorty's quite good.
I'm still watching Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. It's a quality show.
But then Abrams and Nolan. What's not to like? There's a bunch of stuff I'm still catching up on. I'm terribly behind on that. But then there's other stuff I've watched which isn't out yet, which is great. But that's all movies. Like Colossal, which was great, by the way. That's one of those films that flew under the radar.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I just haven't got around to seeing it yet.
It's a movie that flew under the radar theatrically. Not many people went to see it because it was probably like out for a week or something. I think it literally was out for like a week and then it disappeared. But that is out on the 11th on Blu-ray. And so yeah, no, really, 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 really interesting way.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 out on Blu-ray and DVD.
That's on Monday.
Yeah, and
That's
I
an essential
believe Foo
purchase.
Fighters Concrete Gold as well. That will be coming out this week.
And so will you.
Next week, so yeah. There's some cool shit coming.
There is some cool shit coming. T2's at the movies this weekend.
Yeah. So go and see the last good Terminator movie.
Yeah, I love the way that's come back around, kind of like finish things. Like, yeah, this is actual. Just leave it here at the end of this.
Yeah.
Salvation, by the way, is still great, but
Batman and Harley Quinn.
That was out this
week. With this minifigure, if you're lucky enough to get one. Probably can't. They're probably gone now.
And the reason why I saw Simon West was because his movie Stratton is out this weekend, and unfortunately, it's not that good.
3 games. So obviously, beginning of the month, so we normally tell you the 3 games.
Yeah,
3 games on the Xbox are today. It's Forza 5. It's the Game of the Year edition as well, so you should have loads of the extra content. Hydro Thunder, the boat
Sounds like a
racing
really
thing.
bad energy drink.
Yeah, it does sound like a really bad Hydro Thunder. Yeah, that's a free one. And then it's
Or like a Spider-Man toy that has no place in the Marvel universe, but works as a toy.
yeah.
Like the Spider Bike that was only in the Japanese TV series.
And now my train of thought's gone.
Sorry, 3 games, gold.
Yeah. God, I can't remember what the last 2 are now. I was just about to say, brain fart.
Forza, Hydro Thunder.
Forza, Hydro Thunder, and then some other stuff. Shit, I'm crap at this. PS4 though, it's going to be Infamous Second Son, so that's a good one. That is a good one. And then a bunch of other stuff, the way they do it. Child of Light's going to be one. That's a good one if you haven't played it. It's a beautiful game by Ubisoft. And then there's all the other little PS4, PS Vita, PS3 ones, which no one really seems to care about.
You've been more swayed by PS4 of late, haven't you?
I have. They've got... I hate to say it. They've got better original IPs. They do. Alright, we'll talk about this quickly before we go.
Uncharted, for example.
Well, the day of the shooter is done. I'm telling you. Right? It is.
Which is a shame, because that's the thing I most like playing with you.
It's done. Halo is old hat now. I love Halo. I loved it dearly. It's time to let it die, Microsoft. Let's get a new IP. You can bring Halo out every now and again, but let's bring it's time for a new IP. A story-based adventure IP would probably be the best way to go. Look at PlayStation's success. Right? Their own original exclusive titles. Uncharted, Last of Us, we've got Days Gone coming. We got,
That's Spider-Man.
God of War has even taken more of a story-based way of going. The Spider-Man game is going to be very story-based.
Yeah.
There's something there. People are looking for story. They want to be entertained. We live in a generation of people where they'll go to a rock concert where it's not people playing music or at a theatre. They're watching people play games. You get that with esports, or you get it when like Rooster Teeth do live events, things like that. So people are okay to be entertained by their games. They're looking for content, for story, and I think that's what PlayStation and Sony are doing better than anybody else right now. The day of the shooter is done. Call of Duty is going to die on its ass. It's not going to be an esport. It's not.
That's happening. This is another one, isn't there?
Overwatch exists, okay? Overwatch exists and it's massive, and the multiplayer for that is huge. Stuff like Battlegrounds is massive online and all the rest of it. People can just play the online stuff if they're just online gamers. So to get your money from your other gamers, give us some story-based stuff. Like, that's what we want, and some original IPs, and we need some stuff from Microsoft from that, because at the moment, there's nothing really new on the plate. You're just about to release a new console, and the best thing you've got to offer us is like Lucky's Tale. Like
Beyond Good and Evil's next year, though.
Like,
was that?
No, yeah, but that isn't an exclusive.
No, it's not actually. No, it's multi-platform.
There's like Crackdown got put back. And that would have been Crackdown 3.
That would have been my crack.
It would have been. So that's not that original, but there should be
a new game that excites me.
They should be releasing this console. I know it's not a new console and it's just an expansion, but they should have a big game ready and lined up Alright, it's not doing their sales any harm, because just saying we've got the most powerful console in the world is making them sell out PS4 Pros at the same time last year. Microsoft have sold almost double what Sony did last year with their PS4 Pro, with the Xbox One X. I mean, we're talking about sellouts, and like people are already clamoring to pre-order something that isn't available now, because until they release it, people are still going, oh, they're putting their names on lists and things like that. It's going to sell well, but there should be a game to go with it. There should be a game that was built to show off what this thing can do.
A marquee event.
So I've been going back more and more to the PlayStation. I still think the Xbox is a better console, but that's mainly because of the pad. But since I managed to get myself a pad that feels like the Xbox pad on the PlayStation,
I've noticed your attitude towards your PS4 has changed since you've had that pad. The simplest, tiniest thing.
Sony, change your pad. Like, honestly, you've had the same stupid design, which was cool when the PS1 came out. But
in like 2000, that was cool.
It's exactly the same
99
control pad as they released the PS1, and then it's the analog PS1 pad. It still is. Alright, now it's got a touchpad on the top, which maybe 0.5% of your games even fucking uses. You know, alright, it's a cool feature, but no one uses it. So
how old is the PS1?
It's old.
I was trying to think how far back that goes. It's like
95, 6, 95.
Around about that time?
Yeah, definitely 96. Yeah, 96.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was the anniversary last year, so...
96? That's insane.
It was 20 years last year.
20th anniversary of PlayStation 1. Revolutionary at its time, of course.
Was that last year or was that the year before?
Because there was no... can you think now? There was a time when there was no Xbox.
It might have been the year before.
There was a time when there was no Xbox.
95, I think.
It's weird, isn't it? We all had PlayStations. Nobody had an Xbox because it wasn't a thing. But now it's trying to...
Now think about it, it might have been 1995. It might have been the Christmas after we left school.
Right? But put yourself in that place and you're like... It's like never having a mobile phone. It's like weird. You can't think of that being a thing now. Like there was a time when Xbox did not exist.
Your gamepad design is 22 years old.
Wow.
Update it.
22.
Yep. D-pad. All you got to do is move the D-pad and the analog stick. Or... I'm just waiting for someone to fucking invent a thing where you can pick it up and just twist it. And then we'll twist it back. So then people can have the best of both worlds. If they prefer it that way, they can have it that way. Or, you know, just a little twist and then you can have it your other way. It's all it takes. It's all it takes.
There it is. And proven by your change of pad.
I think you would get a lot of Xbox gamers coming across if you changed your pad. I really do. I think we just prefer that pad for shooters, and we prefer it for racing games, and we prefer it just for comfort of the thumb, for longevity.
The Xbox pad's a thing. Definitely, I prefer that pad.
I prefer the weight of it as well.
We're not alone in
that.
The
Sony pad is too light. The PS4 pad's a little bit heavier than the PS3 one was. The old PS3 6-axis one. Yeah. That was fucking...
Do you know what? I'm going to settle this. I'm going to settle this right now. I remember playing Resident Evil 6 with you, and we played it all the way through together. And then the same day I played it, a lot of it, on a PS3 with someone else that same day, and it was bitch harder on the PlayStation, and I think that's entirely because the controlling, because I'd been playing it all day.
It's a weird angle for your thumb to be controlling something at.
Yeah,
whereas that, you've just got so much more motion. Whereas that, you haven't got the same circular motion. See what I mean? That's your PlayStation pad.
Whereas your Xbox is here.
That's it. You haven't got the feature of motion, and that is literally the only difference. So I bought myself a pad with a PS4.
That's like an Xbox
looks
pad.
Like an Xbox pad, and it's changed my gaming completely. Also, Horizon really pulled me back into the PlayStation. That game is still my game of the year. There are people that go, "Oh no, it's Persona 5," or "Oh no," they're all wrong because it's Horizon.
Zero Dawn is the game of the year. I'll take the word for that.
DLC's coming for that later, and God, I'm excited about it. Oh, there's some stupid questions about that I'll answer quickly as well. Can I use my New Game Plus save file on the DLC? Yes you can. Can I use my old save file on it? Yes, you can. As long as you have manually saved a file, you can use it on the new DLC. I don't understand why this was a question, but apparently it has been, and it's been tearing up the internet. So
This is for
Horizon Zero Dawn DLC.
Horizon Zero Dawn DLC. There you go.
Frozen Wilds.
I don't even play Zero Dawn, and that seems pretty straightforward to me. There you go. I'm going to though. I'm just. Do you know what I've learned from today's podcast? That I'm behind on absolutely everything apart from movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely everything. In fact, I should be sacked. I'm no longer knowledgeable in these matters, but you are, and that's what matters.
Alright, so we've been a little bit more factual this week.
We have actually. No. But there's been a lot to chew over.
Yeah, that's what happens when we miss 2 weeks. You know,
We
we can't just talk about like wanking Smurfs and like sticking your fists up cows and shit like that.
No, we can't. But I'm sure there's some cat porn available.
Probably
we can use.
Probably is. Alright. Anyway.
Right. Thank you.
Click all the links that are everywhere these days.
Yeah,
they're probably on our way in as well. On the way in, there would have been links and shit.
There are videos and videos and videos you can go back over. You can watch previous podcasts, of course. All the things we talked about are either available now or coming soon. And I need to go and catch up on a fuck ton of stuff.
Next week, we'll give you the first impressions of Destiny 2.
Yep, that's coming up next week. Also, Stephen King's It.
I can't wait to see that.
It is going to be a highlight of next weekend.
I can't wait to see that. That film is either going to perform really fucking well, judging by the internet, like getting behind it, or it's going to snakes on a plane.
Well, we'll see.
Where the internet seemed to be behind it, and then no one went and fucking saw it.
Well, we'll do that next.
Don't you think the September date's weird for it?
Actually, there's a good reason for this. It's because October is pretty cluttered with horror already. There is a lot of horror-related shit coming out in October.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a lot of horror-related shit that's like the 6th and 7th or 8th instalment of...
You damn straight.
Whereas an original IP in the middle of all of that would have just fucking...
Well, nonetheless, here it is. It's out in September. I think we should talk about it next week.
I think people would have gone and seen it because it was Halloween.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is out this week. Check that out.
I think it's a mistake.
I
hope it's not, but I think it's a mistake.
The
biggest thing people have got to contend with in October is Stranger Things.
Yeah, there's that.
That's the one that people should be worried about. Like the 55th Annabelle fucking movie or the 77th like Saw fucking movie isn't going to touch Stranger Things. But I think it has the potential around that time. Because A, some of the same cast, B, some of the same feelings in casting and time it's set in.
30 years ago. Well, it was 30 years ago in the book,
it's set in the 80s and today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because before in the 80s,
stories, so this is only the first part.
Yeah, there's 2 parts.
So the next movie I assume is next year.
Yeah, which will be set now, and they'll all be adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing
there is.
I don't know. I'll see it this week.
It could have sold itself off the back of Stranger Things.
Oh, the 80s referencing.
Because I remember when I watched Stranger Things last year.
You wanted to watch it again?
I wanted something else like that.
And it's one of those things. It is. Yeah, very much so.
I very much wanted more of that, and there was nothing else. I watched Super 8, like pretty much straight off the back of Stranger Things. So yeah, there we go. It's my.
But we'll
my 2 cents worth.
We'll definitely catch up on that next week. I think we'll talk about. I think those. To be honest with you, I think those 2 properties are gonna take over a large part of the conversation next week. Both Destiny 2 and Stephen King's It.
Yeah.
So this opening weekend next week. I'm sure there'll be lots of other stuff that will happen in the week that we can talk about then. But until then, thank you. Thank you.
I don't mean that. I mean bye. I get those confused all the time.
I just thank you. Thank you so much. If you're still with us, thank you.
Wouldn't it be cool if the Queen flipped people off? There is.
Thank you very much. Have you got that cat porn?
No. I've got a cat.
Well, that'll do.